Yo, what is up, everybody? How is everyone doing? We are back. Andrew, Shane, and myself. We are the Comic Nerds, and we are back at it. And just to answer your question, no, we do not have to. We can talk during that time because it's different sets. So I like on the app you can control like when the microphones are on which like actual scene. They're called scenes. So I have like different scenes. Like this is a scene. The movie review is a separate scene. Like you have to add separate things into it. So it's like yeah, I ignored it so that we can talk more a little bit, and we don't have to stay quiet. But we could stay quiet and we could just appreciate it because I do like it, and like hearing the flipping of the pages and stuff, I'm like, oh, this is nice still, So um but yeah, what's up, everybody? We're back with episode 77 of the Comic Nerds. We are here. We have some solid news to talk about, and we finally watched all of the Netflix's Avatar. So we're gonna go ahead and do a quick review on that as well. So that's really cool. Before we start, we always ask Shane and Andrew how they're doing, but we're gonna try and keep this one quick. My goal is to keep it like 45 to an hour because Shane, you have tickets to go see the new Dune movie tonight, so that's pretty exciting. But
I just rewatched the first one like 2 days ago.
I've never seen it.
Like I forgot how story heavy it was. So hopefully this one's like real action packed.
I heard it was good.
It just came out this week.
Last week, or I think it was last week. And I heard that they're trying to make like a third. Yeah, I heard that they were trying to see if they can get a third, but I don't know.
If this one's also story heavy, I'm gonna be so mad.
Honestly, it seems.
They say this one is 10 out of 10, man. They say it's a masterpiece. So.
It seems like a story movie. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I don't know. Thank you.
I fell asleep on the first one. No disrespect to the Dune fans, but I fell asleep to the first one twice.
It's funny because like I watched it when they first came out the first time, and it's like I retained nothing from it, and for some reason it was like watching it the first way through, like everything about it was so complicated for me because there were so many names and like names of places and stuff like that. So I was trying to grasp what the words were, and so I understood basically nothing.
Well, they said
I'm watching it, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they said like you either have to rewatch it a second time, or if you had read the book, the first one would have been really good to you if you had known already.
Yeah, watching it the second time was actually really good. Yeah. The first time, I don't recall it being interesting to me. But watching it the second time, I was like, okay, spice.
It's all about spice.
Yeah. Spice, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, didn't see it. But anyway, Shane, how you doing?
Good. Just been busy. I've been freelancing again, so like I have like extra work that I've been doing. So I'm a bit overwhelmed on that, but other than that, it's okay. It's not bad.
I feel nice. Andrew, how's it going over on your end there?
Good. Just making up for lost time, like in every aspect of life. That's all I'm trying to do. Yeah.
It also feels like there's never enough time, man.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. It's just flying by. I legit thought it was still February, but it's already like March 8th.
Bro, I feel like
February will be the first month.
Yeah. I feel like I just had my birthday.
Yeah.
And like
it's just coming right up, right?
Yeah, it's like 5 months away. I'm like, slow the fuck down. I know. It's crazy.
Do we do daylight savings anymore?
Yeah, you do. It hasn't been, the bill hasn't been passed yet, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
And even when the bill passes, I think
it's gonna take it away.
Yeah, so there's actually the Senate, I think, has recently voted unanimously to get rid of daylight savings, but it still has to go through the House, I think, and then the president has to sign it, which I'm like, bro, there's way too much stuff right now that probably takes priority, but they already unanimously voted it out. So they would have to vote it, then they would have to reset the clock to the time that they wanted to keep it as, and then I think they give you like, they'd be like, oh, this would be effective like 2027. So like we would still have like maybe a year or so with it, but after that, like once it comes into effect, I think we would get rid of it. So I don't know. It depends on if they vote it in, but I think there's a lot more important stuff right now. Like wars and stuff. But yeah, like long days, and that's cool. But it hasn't been passed, not just yet. So they're still working on it. It's gonna take a while for them to pass that, I feel. So That's good, man. That is good. Yeah, no, I agree. There's really never enough time in the day. Like I can't. You feel like you're like, oh, I have so much time to do this, this, and this, and then you do one thing, and it's like 5 o'clock, and you're like, what the fuck? Like,
It's worse when you're working night shift.
yeah. Oh, I can't imagine. Yeah, that sucks.
I get like maybe an hour and a half of sunlight.
Yeah, I do not miss that. That was so depressing.
Yeah. Hour and a half.
Damn. Oy. Well, all right. Let's. Well, it's nighttime now, so let's talk comics. Let's talk stuff. We have some newses. We have some frustrating newses. We have some interesting newses, and we have some newses that is gonna have a little bit of like an argument or like something that might get your blood boiling. Like maybe there might be, I don't know, there might be a little bit of a I don't know, like a little battle there, versus battle. Let's see if we either all agree or maybe one of us might not agree, or maybe I don't know, there might be some sort of debate going on, but we'll get to that because yeah. So we're gonna start off with some as always, we're gonna start off with some regular news. Then we're gonna hit Marvel first. Then we're gonna go to DC because I feel like DC is going to bring up that debatable, conversation. So I saved that for last. And then...
We're over this. I thought DCEU is over. Like,
oh, no.
That boil our blood.
We'll see.
Are we on DCU now?
No, we're not on DCEU now.
Oh, we're still on DCEU?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm saying, like, normally, like, back in the days, like, DCEU, any news about it would get our blood.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
Yeah.
And it was mostly like...
Yeah, now it's just DC in general now. Like,
yeah.
It just pisses
it was mostly like DC. It was mostly like the Flash that like really pissed us off. But yeah, no. So we do have some DC news. It's not DCEU or DCU really related. It's just DC. So it's gonna be yeah. This is gonna be a DC conversation. So yeah, and then after we're gonna do a quick Avatar: The Last Airbender review from Netflix. We've all watched it, and so we got some thoughts. You know, we got a rating. We're gonna do some things, and it's gonna be fun. So stay tuned for that. So we're gonna just kick on right into it. You know what I mean? With the first thing, which apparently, and this is actually kind of exciting. I'm not gonna see it, but you know, I can see it anywhere else. Shrek 2 is gonna come back into theaters sometime this year to celebrate its 20th anniversary. That's wild that Shrek 2 is already 20 years old.
Shrek 2, not Shrek 1.
Shrek 1 came out like in... No, I think Shrek 1 is not 20 years old. Shrek 1 came out like...
Well, it came first. So
gosh, when did it come out? Shrek 1...
Are they going to do every Shrek movie 20 year?
2001 it came out. So that was a long time ago.
Already did a 20-year anniversary.
They might have released it in theaters. I just don't know about it. I didn't hear anything about it. I heard something about it now, and Shrek was good. We actually just rewatched it. My wife and I, we watched.
Same.
Yeah, we watched the first and the second. We haven't seen the third, but my favorite is the second, obviously, and I think that's why they're releasing this in theaters. I think it's everyone's favorite. Like I loved the second one.
Right.
So we'll see. I mean, second was just comedic gold. Like that, we rewatched it. We were laughing. I was laughing my ass off because I was like, these jokes are hilarious. But yeah, so it's coming back out in theaters sometime this year. There's no release date just yet, but it is its 20th year anniversary. So just kind of keep out a lookout if you ever want to see Shrek 2 in theaters. Now is the time. I remember seeing this in theaters, which is kind of wild. Next news, which is kind of interesting, and I also think that half of this is fake. But I'll explain. So there's a live action Naruto movie in the works with the director from Shang-Chi, Destin Daniel Cretton. So that's kind of interesting. I would say like if it was like a director that I didn't really know, I'd be a little concerned. But the director, like Shang-Chi wasn't that bad of a movie. It was a mid movie, but like it was still like to me it was a mid movie, but like to me it was still a decent movie. Like the fight scenes were cool. I feel like they might be able to actually do a good job with the live action version of Naruto, but I feel like making live action anime is always so dangerous. It's so dangerous. And get this.
One where you have to do like a giant nine-tailed fox.
Yeah. Kurama. Yeah, that's gonna be wild. And like a whole bunch of just like how this is a movie, so like how far are you gonna go into it? Are you gonna just start with Naruto and then like the second movie is gonna be like Shippuden? Because there's no way you can put all of Shippuden in one movie. You're gonna have to make multiple movies. So how are you gonna?
It's gonna be so much because if they had done this as like say a Netflix series, like they did with One Piece and Avatar, like I would have given it more of a chance. But if you're gonna do a movie of the Naruto story, like
That's too much information.
wow, yeah, that's too
There's
much now. But like
so much.
so many episodes.
There's 700 and something episodes. And
Yeah,
that's both Shippuden and Naruto. Naruto alone, I think, is like 300 episodes, and then Shippuden's 400 something. Like,
yeah.
you can't just go from straight Naruto and then all the way up to the war. No freaking way. There's no way. So, like,
And I'm so much more concerned about the casting when it's done in movie form.
hmm,
Because for some reason, I feel like anytime they've ever done anime adaptations in movie form, the casting's always trash. But
hmm,
like the TV series form, like it's like well cast.
pretty good. Speaking of cast, it's funny that you mentioned that because it's rumored that Tom Holland is going to be in this live action movie, and
It's gonna be Naruto.
if he's Naruto, I'd lose it. I like it would never make anything. I think that's the part of the rumor that I don't believe. Because what happens is like there's like a whole like meme going around like a while ago that Tom Holland was going to be in everything, so he was like cast as like a female role, the male role, the daughter role, the 2-year-old role. Like it's the meme was that Tom Holland was going to be in everything. So I feel like that's just kind of banking off of that, but still not a fun rumor to think about, even if it is a joke. Don't put Tom Holland in this movie. I just don't think that he would do well in this at all. Who the hell would he be? I mean, maybe he could be someone, but he's definitely not Naruto.
He has to be Naruto.
No,
If he's gonna play Naruto. He's gonna be Naruto.
no way, no way.
It'd just be
He's
so funny to
Naruto.
think like that.
It would suck so much. I can't even like yeah, but then again, like I said, especially agreeing with you, Shane, cast is so important, especially in an anime like Naruto, because there's so many unique looks. Like with Avatar, and we'll get a little bit into this when we go into the Avatar review. There were some people that looked the part in Avatar, and there were some people that just did not look the part. And that was really frustrating. And that's simpler. Like you can kind of mess around with Avatar a lot more, but with Naruto, like there's the distinct blonde hair. There's Sakura with like the pink hair and like how Choji looked and how Shikamaru looked and all of these different people. They all had like Gara and anyone from like the Sound Village and stuff like that. Like all these people, they're so unique looking. How are you gonna make that? It's like the cast needs to be so. It just needs to be good. I just don't know if it would.
It needs and
Yeah.
not look cheesy.
Exactly.
That's gonna be the issue.
And it's like a
Because
movie too.
all of these characters should be played by Asian people, or do you feel like it can do a more diverse cast?
It could be diverse.
I think it
Like,
can be
Characters Village,
diverse.
I guess should be like
I feel like that's
Yo.
like people of Sound Village.
Not
is
only that,
definitely, like a specific race.
yeah,
Whereas like the people hidden leaves look more Asian or seem more Asian.
Right,
Ye-
yeah, exactly.
yeah. Also, not only that, bro. Like Sakura, white as shit. She's pale. She's paler than pale, bro. Like you could definitely play a white girl as Sakura, and the blonde chick too. She's white. They're all white. Like Choji's white, Shikamaru's white. Like they look white. You know what I mean? Like, but I think it could be really different. Like I like how what they did with One Piece because with One Piece they actually played like each character from the regions that they were from in the anime. I think that they could do that with Naruto and be like, every village like they're different because obviously it's spread out. Like I think that would be cool to kind of see, but I mean like, bro, how you gonna do a Orochimaru? You know what I mean? Like Jiraiya and all that. Like it's just it's a lot. Like it's a lot of responsibility that you're putting. It's definitely in the works. We just don't know the cast. So and I agree with your point too. I would rather it be a show. Like do it like Avatar. Like they're broken up in books. Like I would do it with like Naruto too, where it's like the beginning is just like the tuning exams or like whatnot, and then like the second season is beginning of like Shippuden, and then you could probably fit.
That's huge skips if you're
To,
doing.
to be honest with you though, you can probably skip a lot in the regular Naruto. Like you could literally just go Naruto, like how he was hated, how he became Naruto, and then like straight into the tuning exam. Like not a lot happened. You know what I mean? It was stretched out a lot. There was a lot of fillers. There was a lot of like kind of comedy and stuff like that. But you could probably put all of that into like 10 episodes, like of an hour long, and then just like focus on the tuning exams. Then, oh, you know what? No. Because after the tuning exams, you got the Sasuke fight, and then you got the Gaara situation. So yeah, I guess you would have to split it up into 2 seasons. But I don't know. I don't know how that would work. But I would probably prefer it in seasons more than movie. So we'll see. So that is happening, and it is with the director from Shang-Chi. So that's as far as we know. But interesting. I laughed when I heard Tom Holland. That's all.
Yeah.
So next news is that there's actually a Blue Mountain State sequel in the works, which I'm pumped about. And I heard a lot of the original cast is coming back. So I loved that show. That was one of my favorite shows when I was in like high school when it was aired. I don't know. Yeah, that was a great show.
We would all get around Shane's room and watch this.
Really?
Yeah, it was when I first started watching it. Like, because I think you guys definitely recommended it to me. I was like, what the fuck? This is so fucking funny.
It's so funny. It is so funny. So I'm actually excited about. I actually really want to rewatch it. I would love to rewatch it. But it's a good show. Very inappropriate for those who are not of age, but great show in general, and it's gonna get more shows. So that's kind of cool. So speaking of Avatar, we kind of mentioned Avatar a little bit, so we'll kind of go before the review here. Avatar has already been confirmed that books 2 and 3 are going to be on Netflix. So they're doing the entirety of Avatar on Netflix. This is the first poster that they have, which I actually really like. I think that this is cool. So book 2 is going to be Earth, book 3 is Fire, and they're going to complete the entire show. So that's actually exciting.
That's cool.
I like that.
Yeah. I just want to see how they're going to cast Toph.
They need to cast Toph. Like, whoever plays Toph, it's a lot of pressure. Like, there are characters in the first season and actors and actresses that, like, we let slide in the first season. But, like, Toph, I think, is one of the most important characters in the entire show. And, like, you need to cast Toph really well. Andrew don't know that. Oh, no, you did watch it.
Well, my concern of that is, like, so we have that image, like, we know what Toph looks like. And, like, so I don't know if you remember, like, in the show, like, each region of, like, the nations, they have a very specific race.
Yeah.
And so when we got to Omashu, like, the people there were more, like, they looked more Middle Eastern, like, or, like, East Asian, like, stuff like that. So I'm thinking, like, is that all of Earth? Because I don't know if I could picture that.
Earth was more Indian.
Yeah.
In the show.
So then, wouldn't that mean that Toph would be, like?
No,
I don't know.
In my mind, like, well,
it's a different region.
It's a different region of Earth. Yeah, yeah. She was in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah.
also you think like she'll look like
Maybe
her,
more
like,
Asian.
whatever.
Yeah, because she was in Ba Sing Se, and Boomy is in Omashu. So yeah, it's a completely different area. So I feel like they might specify that. But I felt like a lot of the individuals in Omashu were like the Boomy was Indian. He was played that by the beatboxer in Pitch Perfect. Funny enough, yeah.
Remember,
Yeah, so yeah, but they got renewed. See, that's an important role for me, honestly. And speaking of Avatar, that's our last piece of news. Is Avatar actually broke 21.2 million views in the first 4 days of its release, which is a 15% increase from One Piece. So yeah, it did really, really well for the first.
Bigger fan base.
Oh, 100%. One Piece, like Avatar, definitely has a much bigger fan base than One Piece, I would say. But
I also feel like One Piece fans are way more critical too. So,
I feel like
some were like, I'm not gonna bother watching it. Like they're not gonna do it justice.
Yeah.
Because I've met a lot of hardcore One Piece fans who gave me that exact opinion.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
was like,
anime fans in general are very hardcore. They're very very critical, I would say.
yeah.
So yeah, so but good for them, man. Like Avatar, we're gonna go more into in depth with Avatar like during a review once we get past this. But yeah, it's actually really cool that they did that. So obviously they go through three. So now here's some interesting. We're gonna start with Marvel. This technically is a piece of Marvel news because it has to do with a Marvel movie, but it leads into a piece of DC news. So we're kind of like mixing in this one, but you'll know when I like you'll understand when I tell you. It's about Isabella Merced. First of all, I'm gonna take some time to appreciate this picture, because it's Isabella Merced. But she is in some heat right now because Isabella Merced blames the male audience for hiding a deep contempt for everything that is starring strong, independent women. She has accepted, this is where it comes to be DC news. She has accepted to be Hawk Girl in Superman Legacy, and then praises James Gunn because Lois Lane is actually the protagonist in the movie and Superman is just the symbol. I'm going to break this down into two parts. I'm going to give my opinion. One, if the male protagonist or the male whatever she's saying, the male, what was it, high deep content, the male audience's deep content is to blame for Madam Web's shitness, which, by the way, was directed by a female. What about Morbius, which was a male-led movie? What about Thor: Love and Thunder? What about Ant-Man? What about freaking like Aquaman 2? What about The Flash? Like, all these movies have been tanked hard and shit on hard, and they were all male leads. I mean, you're gonna blame the male, species for rating Madam Web low? Like, I've seen so many women like commenting on how shit this movie is. And we'll come back to the Isabella Merced, but also little piece of news: Sydney Sweeney. Let's take a second to appreciate this picture too. Sydney Sweeney, so Sydney Sweeney was on SNL. She hosted SNL last weekend, and she bashed the movie. And she said, you might recognize me from the other movie that she did and this movie that she did. You did not see me in Madam Web. That's exactly what she said. Now, I know that this is written. I know that people write this for her, but she still said it. You know what I mean? And also, Sydney Sweeney, she promoted Madam Web for 1 day. 1 day. And that was the day that it released. And everyone said how shit of a movie it was. She immediately started promoting everything else. She never promoted Madam Web after that 1 day. She would promote the Christian movie that she's coming out with now or something. And like that's all she's done, right? Not only that, Sydney Sweeney, but Dakota Johnson said that she will never do another movie like Madam Web again. And she said that she doesn't make sense in that world. So all these people are shitting on the movie, but you're blaming the male audience for all of this, right? So that to me is something, but like, and it's just, oh, Ted, what's going on, man? How you doing? He said, hi, all the actors are bashing it, LOL. Yes, except for Isabella Merced. Isabella Merced is bashing the male audience because we are to blame for the movie's failure. We are to blame. It's wild.
That movie was good. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That movie was good.
Yo, it's kind of crazy too because Ted just made the point. No, Ted just made the point. She also bashed it. Ted also heard that she also bashed it. So if she's bashing it, but yet she's gonna blame us, like she's gonna blame the male audience for the failure, that just doesn't make any sense, man. It's just like the movie sucks. It sucks. Like straight up, it sucks.
In terms of the result in the box office, because this shitty movie that's made a lot of money, like Suicide Squad, for example.
Yeah,
that's made a lot of money, but like, I think that's what she's getting at. Like, this movie should have made a lot of money, even though it sucked. But like with a dominant woman-led film, that should have been a thing where it should make a lot of money.
Maybe
especially with these actresses in the movie. I think she's looking at it from a box office perspective.
Okay, fine. If we're looking at it as a box office perspective, what about Wonder Woman? Not the second one, that sucked. But the first one did really, really well. The first Captain Marvel did pretty well too. Like, it's not the Marvels. The Marvels sucked. Captain Marvel did good, right? The Miss Marvel was voted the best TV show for Marvel or superhero films. You know what I mean? Like, it has a 90% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, you know? Like, it's a good show. Like, it's not for us, but it's a good show. It's like there are other female lead roles that are doing really well. I don't understand how you can blame the male audience for that, where it's like, we want comic accurate stuff. We want like good movies. That's all we want. And so does the female audience of this stuff too. Like, I doubt that if all of the women liked the movie, it would not have gotten a 12%, like on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, all of the men, if all the men hated the movie and all the women really loved the movie, it would get at least like a 30%. At least, I would say. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's so stupid. And personally, in my opinion, I'm all for.
Why? My thing is like, why, like, say something like, I guess, semi controversial before your movie comes out. You know what I mean? Like, stay out of this. Like, your movie didn't even come out yet. You know, you got a big superhero character to play for James Gunn, and you're gonna release something like this. Like, what are you doing? This doesn't make any sense.
Because, like, do you guys remember that one actress? She did the Hunger Games prequel. She was before she had like other movies coming out, but she had some controversy because she had an opinion about things before that movie like finished filming or released, and then I heard like they kicked her out of the movie because of that controversy.
Oh, the
I was like, bro, if you have projects coming up, don't voice your opinion, like, and then ruin your career or like stunt your career. Like, that's crazy.
Especially on this like topic here. This doesn't even make any sense. Like what Adam says, you know, those are all valid points, but like why? Like why?
It's because comic fans are hardcore as shit. Like, they will ruin your career. Like, that's fucking insane.
I'll be bold and say this, you know, like, yeah, I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but I'll be bold and say I think the male audience makes up for 70% of the people going to see these superhero movies.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's not much women. It's definitely more male dominant. So the amount of money Madam Web made, I'm pretty sure 90% of it is from male audience.
Yeah, but
you know, it's not from women. And you're still bashing men for it. It's like men are probably the one that's probably making these superhero movies the most money. You know, like if they're bringing a woman on a date,
we drag our girlfriends or wives or something to see it with us. Like,
like what do you?
For the most part, you know what I mean? Like, there are definitely some, you know, there's definitely a good amount of women that watch this because they are fans of the content for sure. But it's like, no, I agree. I feel like most of it is. I changed it back to Sydney Sweeney because, like, why not? You know, but like, you can't not change it to Sydney Sweeney.
There was another thing, like something similar to that. The girl in the Avatar series that played Azula.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get there.
She had a hot take. Okay. All right.
Oh, we'll get there. I'm curious about the hot take, though. I don't know what she said. I'd like to know. What was her hot take, actually? Like, well, we might as well say it
now. Well, I don't know if it's a hot take. I guess it's just she just said something really like tasteless towards J.K. Rowling, the author for Harry Potter. Yeah. She was like, "I hate J.K. Rowling," like straight up like that.
Yeah.
Like to the media.
A lot of people do. Because she bashed on she's homosexual. I mean, no, she's not. She's homophobic. Yeah, she's not homosexual.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, like your thing just released. Don't do this.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, that's unless the majority like agrees on like one general thing, because it's like if you're bashing on like a bad person or like some stupid shit that's like.
But you're writing like a trend or like a tale that you know it could be like 80 in your defense and all this, 80% in your way. But why do it in the first place? You know, like just stay out of it. Like stay out of that.
I used to get so annoyed because like there was celebrities that were kicked off of like shows or movies because they had a opinion on the Gaza like thing or whatever, and
Right.
like because of their opinion about it, like the opposite end like was just bashing on her, and like she just got out of the movie, and I was like, that's fucking crazy. I was like, I get like sometimes I get it, but sometimes I think it's so stupid when people say that like celebrities should voice their opinions or like spread message about like certain topics, like global topics, so it could be heard or whatever. But it's like these people, some of them like they're not experts on it. You know, they read the news like we do and just, like look it up or whatever, and like you they voice their opinions and then that's like their whole career is ruined.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, just
Just stay out
be
of it,
a
man.
celebrity. Just like there's like celebrities that just aren't online at all. Like go
Yeah.
be a Chris Evans. That's
Yeah.
easy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, 100%.
We'll be a Cillian Murphy. He doesn't do anything.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Real late reply, but yo, Ted, he said, "How you guys doing? Thank you
Good.
for letting me know that Shane and Andrew were quiet. I forgot to up their volume again, so that was my bad.
Oh.
But yeah, man, how you guys doing for Ted? And Ted, how are you doing? How's anyone else doing watching this? Yeah, we're good. I think we're good.
Yeah, everyone's so good.
Pretty
So far.
solid. Yeah, not too bad. Sydney Sweeney, appreciation post there.
Yeah, thank you for keeping that up.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ. Yeah.
I mean, hello.
No, I've never looked her up, like, other than from Madam Web. So none of these, I've never seen, like, any of these side of her.
There's
I'm starting to understand.
you've
I'm
never
starting
seen-
to understand what's the big deal
You've
it
never,
is.
You've
with
never
her,
seen
so.
Sydney Sweeney here. You've never.
All right.
Please block me.
It's
Yes.
PG-13. This
Sydney
is a
Sweeney.
wallpaper, bro.
hey, listen. I'm just appreciating Sydney Sweeney. I mean, it's a good
Yeah.
picture.
You should have her own holiday.
So yeah. Anyway, bye, Sydney. See you later. We'll probably talk more about you later. Or just like in other streams. I'm doing good. I went to the gym today and got a new personal best. Other than that, just been playing a ton of Saints Row 3. Oh, sick, dude. What was your personal best today, man? And all right, so back to news. So yeah, that was. Also, we just to kind of go back on this, a little worrisome that Isabella said that James Gunn is making Lois Lane the protagonist of the movie Superman when it's called Superman Legacy and not Lois Lane Legacy. And that Superman is just a symbol. I swear to God, if this is the case, like, why?
Have you guys seen? James Gunn posted on Instagram because someone asked him what was his inspiration for Superman Legacy, and so he screenshotted a bunch of like scenes from the comics, and it kind of like overall says like, oh, this is kind of what Superman Legacy will be about.
Mhm.
And my concern about that is that this is gonna be a very sappy, emotional movie. And not a superhero heavy kind of movie.
Damn.
Because he clipped a lot of scenes where like, Superman is this symbol of hope and gives people makes people feel loved and safe. And then there was scenes where it's like, oh, Superman is just as vulnerable as a human is, and it shows him crying, like a scene from a comic. That he was like, that's basically what encompasses the new Superman Legacy movie. And I was like, no. Don't let that be.
Well, we'll
I was
see.
like, I feel like that's like, unless this is like crazy, incredible storytelling, like
Yeah.
I'm
It could
very
be.
concerned about this movie.
It
I
could
mean,
be.
but like you gotta give him like some leeway because of how he ended with Guardian of the Galaxy, right? Like that was a sappy movie if you think about it.
Mhm.
It has a lot of
Yeah,
emotion.
but like that
it
was
done very
sappy.
well.
That was sappy after 3 movies because it built this growth in the storyline for these characters. But this one is like the first movie, so like
So
and like
He did it throughout. It's just this one was just much more emphasized. Like the first one was about his parents and all that stuff, getting away from his grandpa. I think that was what it's
Yeah.
about. And the second one was with his dad. Like he cried in that movie,
Mhm.
in the second one. But it was all done very well. James Gunn's esque, like it was done his way. And so I'm gonna give him some room there,
the way that
Who
I
knows?
see it is, he's supposed to be in his 20s. So he's probably very new to being Superman, where he is like this immortal being and he is new to being a superhero. And then he starts to see that people are dying. and he's supposed to be like a symbol of hope. My thing is like, okay, if you're gonna make it emotional, like bring on a villain that he is not used to, like he can't defeat very easily, and then just make it a challenge for him, because then he starts to see that he can't save everyone, and that's when people die, and that's where it starts to get emotional, because then he's conflicted, where he's just like, I'm supposed to be this symbol of hope, I'm supposed to save everyone, and I can't save everyone, and people are dying now, and I don't know what to do. Kind of.
But we
things like
had that.
where I
We
feel
had that
like
in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, but
We had
this
that
is a
in
new
Batman
this
versus
is a new version where it's like a younger self.
Yeah.
So like I could see it
Like-
rolling that way, but yeah, I don't know.
This puts fear in me. Where like, do you guys remember the whole Superman curse thing?
Yeah.
It would never be any good
Like where
movie.
every actor who played Superman was cursed with a bad career, and so far only Henry Cavill's been able to break that curse.
Hmm.
I feel like with this movie, I'm not, obviously there's been no real indication. It was just from those screenshots that he took that make me feel like that's the vibe.
I get that.
Like I'm hoping I'm wrong, and like that's only small little segments of what the whole movie is. But
Which is
I'm so scared of that.
yeah, which is like insane. It's starting to make me think like, are they really paying attention to like what the majority are saying about superhero movies, right? Because one of the things they didn't like about Man of Steel or Batman vs Superman is how dark and depressing it is, and like you're gonna go that route again, just a different take on it. It's like, you know,
Because he's because James Gunn
I like it
has
too. I
always
like it
had
too.
that stance that he's a enormous comic book fan,
Yeah.
and
Right.
like and he went deep into the archives to get these screenshots. So these are like classic comics that like I've seen, and so I'm like, okay, because then what if like because he's such a hardcore comic fan, like he's creating this movie, but he's creating it based on his taste
Mhm.
rather than what he thinks that like the majority of like comic book fans, Superman fans will like. And so his taste is like he loved how hopeful and inspirational Superman was to the world, but he loved how vulnerable Superman could be as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, which is great storytelling, but like for the first movie, it has to come out perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Late thing, let's see. Ted said he lifted 160 kilograms on leg press, which is around 352 pounds. That's wild.
Jesus.
Damn, dude, you're killing it. He also said James Gunn isn't that dumb. Not gonna lie, I love seeing that side of Superman. I can't wait for Superman's legacy. Yeah, like I think he could do really well. So
Yeah,
um,
he's given us great examples of his work. So
yeah,
like, press is important in this one.
yeah,
Definitely.
I'll give it to him. So we'll see. So yeah, next news is apparently Zack Snyder is rumored to be directing a Marvel movie, and people are saying that he might possibly direct Thor 5. Just a
That's just
rumor.
funny.
Yeah, just a rumor, but apparently if he does direct a
feel like I
Marvel
would
movie,
fuck
that'd
with
be
that.
funny.
I
feel
would
like
definitely fuck with that. Yeah,
I would fuck with that. It's
give us
part of me
that
feels
Zack
like
Snyder Thor.
if Zack Snyder gets into this, he's gonna go heavy on the Viking stuff.
Oh, I'd love to. I would love that.
I
It
would
should be
love that.
crazy.
Yeah, like some Nordic stuff.
Just think of
Yeah.
like just you're making me think of like the soundtrack he's gonna use in terms of like you know,
Yeah.
for Thor. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh
stuff.
man,
It's gonna be insane.
He gonna make some new Marvel fans. Tell you that much.
yeah. I would love if this kind of revamps the Marvel universe into a sort of new aesthetic. Because like, no, obviously, I don't want it to be like crazy dark or anything, but I would like an aspect of like where it's not really poppy, bright kind of like
Right.
stuff anymore.
But the thing is, because like Marvel, they've been doing that poppy, bright colored movies, and now it's slowly transitioning to like the more realistic, grounded, maybe a little gritty here and there, and fans are accepting that because they already got a bunch of those colorful ones already. And I think
Yeah.
the reason why like DC didn't do it good is because they released dark, gritty stuff while Marvel's releasing these happy stuff, and they keep trying to compare each other with each other, and one had to hate the other one, and people just like the happier one more.
I want to say
it's
it's
suck up-
also
yeah.
because like kids grew with this movie. Like this has been well over 10 years now. So like the kids now are like much older, so they would like more adult-ish type of style. So
Yeah.
Ted said also, I just remember, didn't they change the name of Superman Legacy to just Superman? I have no idea.
They
I
did.
didn't- I didn't
They
hear
did.
that.
They
but
did
that's
change
cool.
that. They did.
I don't know that.
That's cool.
I thought it was gonna be like a news you're gonna bring up. Yeah.
No, but also
And people
Ted-
was like, we already had a movie that's called Superman. It's like, no. It was Superman the movie.
Ted also said in quotes, "The boulder is conflicted," which I like. I like little Avatar reference right there. Love it. So yeah, so Zack Snyder might be coming to Marvel. Who knows though? Next news
It'd
is
be funny as hell. Hold on, real quick.
Oh,
It'd be
yeah.
funny as hell. He comes into Marvel, and in the movie he direct has Henry Cavill in Marvel.
that'd be fucking awesome. Actually.
That is so good.
I would love
Yeah.
that. So Spider-Man the animated series head writer John Semper Jr., which I freaking love this animated series, said he's open to continuing the show like X-Men 97. All they need to do is call him.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so that'd be kind of sick actually if they can get that. I loved that Spider-Man show, man. I remember waking up on Saturday mornings and just watching this and
Yeah.
This Spider-Man animated.
yeah, this one
Like,
right here
It's
in
the
the
series,
show.
yeah.
It's the series show, man. This is the
that
one that
was
I
good.
loved. It was so good.
They even did. I remember them doing the.
Wait, hold the.
They covered so many storylines in that, but it was like they even did the like Avengers crossover once.
Yeah.
They had some
Yeah, I remember
crossovers,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then they went into like Spider-Man Unlimited and all that stuff. I kept up with that whole thing. It was good.
Oof. Okay, yeah. So, it's funny because like, he said Marvel call him all caps Ted, and then he said you old Adam, and I was about to be like, what the fuck? But then I saw it and I was like, yo, it came out in '94, bro. That's
Oh, shit,
yeah,
yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
my god, how did it come out in
Mm.
'94? Damn.
Well, we didn't
season-
watch that shit until like in 2000, so you got to give us that prize.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that-
No, it was early. I remember watching it when I was like 5 or 6. But
If they during those days, everything was better. Like that was like peak comic stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like these crazy stories that they wrote into the comics now didn't exist. So it's all like these are all OG stories that they put in.
yeah.
I was like, I feel like storytelling was better back then. Now it's a lot of just like craziness happening just to keep the fans like interested.
Damn, dude.
I don't know. I feel like it's a nostalgia factor.
Oh, it's
to why
definitely
we're
a nostalgia
talking so much.
factor. I freaking love
Yeah.
it. Apparently, the season 1, episode 1 came out in November 19th in 1994, but the second episode didn't come out till February 4th of 95.
What the hell?
And then it came out every week from then. But like that's a
That's
big
a
jump.
long-
But man,
Yeah.
that show was so good, so good. I have it on my wish list right now, on my watch list for Disney, because eventually I want to bring it back. But yeah, so I guess that'd be sick if they called him. That'd be dope. What was that? Was that it? No, there's one more. And this is actually a really interesting thing. So Bob Iger, who's like the CEO of Disney, has kind of talked and dismissed the whole like Marvel fatigue theory, because a lot of people are saying like, Marvel fatigue is like hitting hard because like no one really likes Marvel anymore right now. He just says the audience just wants good films. If you build it good, they will come. And that's a great point, and I agree
That is great.
completely with that. And that's kind of
Yeah.
leaning more towards like
Yeah.
coming back to like it kind of comes back to like our Madam Web conversation. It's like we didn't like it. We did not like the movie because it was women led. We didn't like the movie because it
Yeah,
wasn't a
no.
good movie.
We
Like,
were excited about that.
I was
part.
excited about the movie.
Yeah.
Remember, we were excited about that part.
Oh yeah,
Like,
all the
what the
cast
fuck?
members in it. I was like,
We were-
yeah, let's go.
We were
let's do
so
it.
excited about it where we even had like a preemptive thought where it's like, even if the movie sucked, we're still gonna go see it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
That's what it was.
and guess
It was
what?
like I was still rated high. If that's how that was my opinion. But then I saw the movie.
Yeah, and then guess what? We even said it. We were like, the movie does suck. We did go see it. It not a good movie. Like that was the one movie where I
Yeah.
would have wanted my money back.
They
But,
didn't
like,
give us what we went there for.
No,
Yeah.
it was bad. It sucked. It was like, but like Bob Iger has a really good point. It's like we just
It
want
was.
comic accurate movies. That's all we ask for.
I
That's all
just-
we bitch
I
about,
just
anyways.
I just saw a girl who did a TikTok where like she was saying how like everyone in her life told her how bad like Madam Web was, so she was gonna go, and she was saying like I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna like because I have a very low rating for like bad movies, like she like a high tolerance for bad movies. I mean, and so she walked in, she was like, okay, like I'm ready, I'm expecting it to be bad, but I think I'm still gonna enjoy it. Walked out, she was like, oh my god, was that?
Yeah, it's bad.
And I was
Yeah.
like, bro, see, like the women, like they don't like it either. It's because a bad movie is a bad movie.
No one
Yeah.
likes it.
Like it's a non-gender bias
Yeah.
like opinion because what's bad is bad.
What's bad is very bad. Also, dude, we just want comic accurate movies, man. Just give us comic accurate movies. Like, stop trying to make your own shit. Like, just give us what we want. That's all we want. And Bob Iger, just, he's hitting it right in the nail, man. He makes the point. So,
Honestly, like
Bob.
any superhero movie, like to me could be like 50% better if you just do the costumes right. If you do the super suits in it immediately and it's right, like I don't care about the rest of it. I was like, I just want to see my character, my favorite characters from the comics, in these live actions. Like that's a big part of wanting to see these movies. You know what I mean?
I think
Yeah.
that a movie requirement for moving forward, a requirement for the screening of these movies should be that it needs to be approved by at least 3 people that got bullied in middle school through high school in the 90s for liking all this stuff like this. Like it should be a big requirement, because I feel like then you'd be like, no, this movie sucks, dude. Like, we're not making this movie. Send it back to the drawing board. It needs to have this. Like, all these people are just rich ass people who don't know comics. Like,
do screen testing. Who do they screen test on? Like, what the fuck?
just regular people that they're just like, yeah, this is great. I don't know. And sometimes the screen test probably goes really bad, and they're like, nah, this sucks. And they're like, well, we're gonna release it anyway. So I don't know, but it sucks. And that was the last news for Marvel. So we have a couple of quick more things, and then we're going to come with our little conversation. I thought we were going to keep this stream to 45 minutes. I was very wrong. But anyway, first news, Superman. Speaking of Superman, this is actually the new logo that they put out. So this is the new logo for that. It's pretty interesting. It's just the S covered in some snow, so that's cool.
It's close to that Kingdom Come Superman.
Yeah, it does look like.
Let's see.
I'm wondering if it's gonna be like, because I'm like, I saw this screenshot. I feel like it's fake because like it looked like bad quality and stuff like that, so it could have been Photoshop. But like someone had a picture of the actor in like the suit. He's like wearing like the red underwear and stuff like that.
Oh, it's fake.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure, because I was like, that does not look. I was like, I would be so mad if that was the case.
it's fake. James Gunn confirmed it. James Gunn said that the only people that have access to photos of him in the suit is actually him, and he did not release any photos. So
he's always so on top of like debunking.
Oh yeah,
I'm so he does that.
Yeah. So he's on top of it, but like also that's a little creepy that you're the only person that have photos of him in a suit. Like that's a little weird, but whatever. Let's not go there. But Ted said, I like the normal S more, but I still like it. So yeah, so he likes the original OG like. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So let me see here. What's the next piece of news? Speaking of more Superman, Wendell Pierce has been cast as Perry White in Superman. The only thing that I've seen him in is Jack Reaper, I think it's called, with John Krasinski. Is it Reacher? Is it Reacher? Reaper? Is it?
I think you're talking about I think you're talking Tom Cruise.
No, it's John Krasinski.
That's Reacher. It's Jack.
It's a movie. No. He played Jack Reacher, but he plays the TV show in. Yeah. That's Jack Reacher. It's just called Reacher, I think, or something.
No, the Reacher is the one with dude that played.
Oh yeah, from Blue Mountain State. Yeah. So there's a Reacher with the guy from Blue Mountain State. There's a Jack Ryan with John Krasinski. One, yeah. So he's in Jack Ryan with John Krasinski, and
I think he can play this role well. Because what was the character's name again? Perry
White.
Perry White.
Yeah, Perry White. Yeah, because Perry White is a very like. He basically is just a corporate boss type of shit, and I've seen him because I've seen him in Suits.
Yeah,
he could do that perfectly.
He plays. Yeah, he played a boss in the show Jack Ryan too. So it wasn't. I think he could do fine. Here's something funny. Warner Brothers states that they're the, and I quote, only pure storytelling company in the movie industry.
What?
Yeah, that's it. Pure, like Pure, pure. They're the only pure.
Are they?
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not even
pure.
Pure
Storytelling? No.
Their storytelling sucks. And
Ted, are you talking about like the animation? Because I agree.
Ted laughed so quickly on that. But yeah, like it's no, you're not pure storytelling. There's nothing pure about your storytelling. Like the animation, like you said, yeah, sure, I kind of agree, but no, everything else is just absolute trash. So what are you gonna do on that?
I guess they didn't watch their own movies. They just read the script. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, on paper it sounds really good.
Ted said shit storytelling. I agree, Ted. But yeah, it's just I just found it comical. You know, it was kind of funny. Let's see. Grant Gustin. This is cool. So Grant Gustin said that he would play the Flash again if James Gunn asked, saying that he trusts James Gunn. If James Gunn just calls Grant Gustin, I think that would solve everything, and that would be a great Flash. I think he would do so good in an actual DCU franchise as the Flash. So that would be
like
really cool.
I would like it because I've gotten so used to his Flash, but like his Flash in like movie quality with a movie budget would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But I would also like a fresh like take on it. Like I'd like a classic a blonde Barry Allen kind of look. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's gonna be good because how the series has built up this Grant Gustin's Flash is more of like an emotional Flash, you know?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna switch up a whole character basically, like their personality. Same guy, but it's like a different personality, and it's gonna be weird to see that on
screen. Ted said
I love him.
Yeah, he's good, but Ted said apart from the animated films and series they usually slap, he says, I love Grant, but I so want to see Wally as the main Flash in the DCU. Yeah,
I do. You just want like a straight OP character right out the bat, huh?
Well, Flash. Is
I mean, Wally was such a fun and entertaining Flash. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah, but he goes through a lot of shit though.
Oh yeah, they all do. Let's see. Flash is always OP, to be honest. Yes, he is. Ooh, this is cool. So Dennis Villeneuve, I don't really know how to pronounce his last name, reveals that he would love to direct a Batman Beyond movie, saying a futuristic Blade Runner-esque cyberpunk Batman is literally the coolest concept.
I mean, it is a cool ass concept.
It's a cool ass concept. The problem with mine, and this is probably going to be maybe a little bit of a hot take, I don't think we're ready for a live action Batman Beyond movie. I think that if the creators of Miles Morales, like Into the Spider-Verse, if they make like an animated one, I think that'd be really cool. But I just don't think that we're ready for a live action. I don't think that we're there yet. I think that they wouldn't really make it really well, and I don't agree. I don't want it right now.
I want the foundation of the DCU built first.
Yes.
To see, because I don't want like, if this movie ends up being made, I want it to be like top tier, but I don't want it to be like a saving like kind of movie where it's like they made it in hopes to save the DCU because it did so badly.
Yeah.
I want like it standing on top with the rest of the DCU.
I want this to be far away from the DCU.
Yeah, but you know, it's
completely far away.
They're gonna try to have it, you know, connect.
Yeah. But I agree. I think they should stick. They should stick to the animated movie.
Yeah. Animated was so good.
Yeah. Ted said he needs that animated one. If they do a live action one, make Michael Keaton's Batman his Bruce and set that film in his universe. I don't know. I don't think
that's gonna work.
I'm conflicted.
Like we saw him in the Flash, you know, so he got his shine, his last hurrah. But like if you throw him, if it's gonna be in that universe, it's gonna be a Tim Burton universe, and I don't see Batman Beyond being in a Tim Burton universe, honestly.
No.
Yeah.
So that happened. And then our last piece of DC news before we actually get into the Avatar thing. So this is the one where I felt like this might have a little bit of controversy, depending on all of our answers. So I'm gonna bring up the picture first. Then I'm gonna say something. Robert Kirkman said Omni-Man would easily defeat Superman in a fight. All right, let's talk about this, guys. What do we think? Omni-Man from Invincible would defeat Superman easily in a fight. Easily, he said. Not even just like, oh, it would be tough. He said easily.
No,
definitely not. Wouldn't even make any sense. Yeah.
I'd say
it's a creator flexing his work.
100%. Yeah. I'd say that DCEU Superman probably, but like
not even like
I would
you
say
can't beat Superman unless you have kryptonite or like you have anything remotely close to being his weakness. You can't beat him. Like
yeah, but they kind of made Superman
kryptonite or magic that really can kill him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That gives them real damage. If we're talking about brute strength and like powers, their powers are basically identical, but like Superman, I feel like nah, he built different. Like there's no way.
So one of the argument with Omni-Man is that Omni-Man has no morals, right? Like he would just he's set to kill, like he's set to kill. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, like if you're gonna use moral in the argument, then this gonna be a stalemate. Superman's gonna make it a stalemate. He's not gonna beat Omni-Man up. Like he's gonna be the righteous man. You know what I mean? But if you give no morals to Superman, it's gonna be done in like fucking 3 seconds.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Literally.
so the
And
Superman.
I'll say it real quick, and I'll say this too. We've seen Omni-Man get like pierced by like in the first season of Invincible, he got his ass whooped. Like you see him bleeding and shit like that by like the regular superheroes and on Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't see Superman get beat up by regular people like on Earth,
No.
other than Batman, but he gave him the fucking kryptonite.
Because it's
Right.
with Omni-Man, like he's still like, if you've seen like some of the most recent episodes, like he gets his ass beat with like, as long as the strength is enough.
Mm-hmm.
So like he gets like cut up, torn up, but like Superman's skin, like nothing it penetrates it, like penetrates it unless it's kryptonite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also,
Because like they keep like cutting him up.
Dude, don't get rid of Superman's morals out. Like if it was the Superman from The Killing Joke, or not The Killing Joke. Sorry, is it The Killing
No,
Joke?
not The Killing Joke.
No, it's not The Killing Joke. It's not The Killing Joke.
It's Injustice. Injustice.
That's what it was. Yeah, get rid of that. Give him like kill Lois Lane. You're done.
Make
done.
Omni-Man kill Lois Lane. It's done.
It's done,
Yeah.
dude. He won't. He don't care. Like you literally get rid of his morals. He will fucking destroy you. But like even I agree. Like I think Superman would easily take this. I just think that he would kind of just bring it to a stale or just beat the shit out of him. Like I just it's not it's so funny how people just still continuously give all of these verses with Superman. It's like stop, dude. Like stop. Omni-Man is strong, but he's not gonna win against Superman. Ted said,
and plus, like Superman always had like the writers having his back.
yeah.
So like they'll just write him winning. Like
Oh yeah, 100%.
I was guys like the only way he'll lose truly is if the writer wrote him to lose. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Obviously. Superman. Ted said Superman's just stronger. If Superman had no morals, the fight would be over in seconds, and Superman would be holding his head with Omni-Man's spine hanging. Yeah, no, 100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. Yeah. And he probably wouldn't even need to get close to Omni-Man, just laser beam him. Like that's it.
Mhm.
Like it'll be done.
Oh yeah, I agree. So yeah, that's all the news that I have right now. So I mean, we're going right into our movie review. So it's not really a movie this time, it's actually a show. So we're going to review our Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix show. If you guys haven't seen it, we're going to start off with a non-spoiler, thank you. We're going to go with the non-spoiler review. So for those of you who haven't seen it, and then we'll go to our spoiler review. We'll kind of talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. Andrew, I have a few specific questions for you when we get started with this, but we do have, sections again. Oh, I forgot to get rid of the story here. So give me 1 second. Let me just delete that. We have story, which is out of 5. We have characters, action, CGI, soundtrack, and then our overall. As always, I'm gonna go kill some people in Saints Row 3. All right, sounds good, Ted. So let's talk about this. So we had the show. It recently came out. It did really well. There's some very conflicted opinions online about the show. So I would be very curious as to like how you guys portray or like think of it. Now, I'm gonna start with the non-spoiler, and then you guys can continue off of it. Andrew, I want you to remember this, but I want you to specifically focus on this one thing. So you actually just mentioned that before the show, you mentioned that you actually watched the animated series for the first time,
Yes.
including Korra. So
Yeah. A lot.
the boulders conflicted pretty much every Avatar fan.
Yeah.
Pretty much, Ted. So here's what I would like to know when you're giving your opinion. I would like to know your original opinion of the show. And then I would like to know your opinion after you watched the animated series, if it changed and what changed. Just out of curiosity, because now that like Avatar is very fresh in your head, and for someone who watched it for the first time and that was what you got, and then you now watched the animated series, I also want to know your opinion on the animated series too. So
Yeah.
things like that. So I'm just kind of curious when we get to that. Like, I would like to see the before and after on that. But as a Avatar fan, I actually liked it a lot more than some people might think. I personally, and I'll say this right now, I'll already give my overall, because I think that my overall has to do with like what some of the things that I'm going to say. I give it a 7.5. I was going to give it an 8, but to be honest with you, there were some things on the last like episode or two that I just kind of had some problems with, and I was like, nah, I don't know, and that kind of put it down to the half there. I think it's great. I loved the show. I thought like the first episode sucked, wasn't great. So I gave it more of a chance, and then obviously it started getting a little bit better. Zuko is my favorite character in the animated series. He is my favorite character in the live action. Uncle Iroh is also a favorite character. I loved that in the show. There were some things that I kind of had some problems. It felt like they switched up the storyline in some of the stuff, and I wish that but the thing is like the reason why I like it so much is they switched it up. For example, like they introduced characters that were supposed to be introduced later on into the show, but they made it in introducing other characters into the show, which we'll get into the spoiler review. But the way that they made it, it actually connected to make sense. So that's why I thought like it was smooth as far as the storytelling. Like when they made it their own and they changed it up, it still made sense with the story. So I just felt like personally that was good. The acting, I took a point off for acting because the acting really wasn't that great for a lot of actors. Aang had 5 or 6 opportunities to cry, couldn't do it, sucked. So that wasn't great. He can't cry. I mean, they're kids, but it's like also like, come on, man. Like, Katara was a very dry character for me, and which sucked because I saw how Aang, the guy who plays Aang, and the girl who plays Katara act in real life, and I'm like, this is what I want to see in the show, man. Like, but so it just goes to show that like this was the screenwriter's fault, like they really just kind of told them to act a certain way, and that was really it. But they definitely had some potential, and they just didn't see. I don't know. There were some actors that I didn't really like that much. Like I don't personally like, damn it, who's the sister's name? Azula. Don't care much for her actress, like the actor for her, and I don't care much for her friends either. The 2 friends there, don't know why they don't look the part. Couldn't care less. I could care less about Yue's part, who was in the last 2 episodes. She was the Northern Water Tribe princess. I loved, Aang was okay. He was like mid to me. Like he couldn't cry, but like there was some parts where I'm like, okay, whatever. Katara, dry. I did like Sokka. I really liked, the CGI was clean to me. So overall, like I said, I gave it a 7.5 because I felt like they did a good job sticking true to the comics, in my opinion. And it really wasn't that bad of a show. So that was what I thought. Shane, what about you?
Overall, same opinion. I definitely rated. Mine's actually rated 7. So
Interesting.
I knew that's how I felt about it, because I felt 8. Like there was certain things with the story and the characters that definitely bothered me, and that pushed it further down.
Yeah.
It was because I texted you guys, but I was like, like the thing that's been annoying me about like Katara's character was that like the actress, I was like, bro, is this like her first acting gig? Because it was like when she was like during scenes where like it looked like she was supposed to be kind of serious, like you could see that she's like kind of smiling, and it was like she couldn't help but do that, and like that really bothered me, like during the whole time. And then it was just like like with Aang's character, it was they try to avoid like certain parts of the character development, which was him being a kid, which was a very obvious one. He didn't like there was none of the goofy fun feeling that you get from Aang.
Well,
it was all of the whole, and I get that they had to like condense a lot into one season, so I guess maybe they just didn't want to do that.
So real quick to kind of go off that point, I actually wasn't fazed by that as much as I thought I was going to be, only because I started thinking like this is a live action adaptation, but it's also like imagine you being 10 years old and finding out that you are the protector of the entire world and that like the fate of the world is on your hands. It's like they made it more of like a serious aspect of things instead of like an animated jokey kind of like fillery episode. Like a lot of the episodes in the show were like very fillery, like I'm gonna ride a fish, you know what I mean? Like, and like I think that they made it more realistic in a sense where it's like this kid has such a tremendous amount of pressure to be something that he didn't even want to be in the first place. I kind of appreciated that a little bit more because I was like, they made it a little bit more realistic in my opinion, where I was like, okay, I'm not so heartbroken that they kind of made him a kid. And he was still kind of a kid. He still had some fun in the show. But what pissed me off, and this isn't really much of a spoiler, so I'm going to say this right now, he didn't learn waterbending the whole time. That was frustrated me actually, because I was like, dude, we went through the whole thing. Nothing.
I was like, yeah, because I thought he could at least dabble in, because during the first part of the animated, he did dabble.
Yeah, Katara taught him stuff.
Yeah, Katara was supposed to slowly teach him a little bit, and then when they finally got to the Southern Water Tribe or Northern Water Tribe, yeah. That they were supposed to. That's where they found their teacher.
Yeah, but he knew some waterbending by then.
Yeah,
because Katara got pissed off at him that he could pick it up so easily. Like that was like
the. It annoyed me because like they gave Katara the role of immediate master of like immediate skill set of fighting as a waterbender, when like not even like a month back she was just learning how to even pick up water, which is crazy. You know what I mean? I was like, that was way too like they pushed that too far, and I was.
Yeah, she learned quick, but I mean, she was supposed to be natural.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So I'm actually interested. I'm very surprised that I actually rated something higher than Shane. Just saying.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, Shane's a 7. I rated it a 7.5. It was almost an 8 for me.
During a spoiler, I'll tell you why.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we could have just went straight to the spoiler, honestly, but.
Well, I want to give the people who haven't seen it, but
right. No, you're right.
So I'm curious as to
I'm giving it. Yeah, I'm giving it a 7.5 also.
Ooh.
Like, which is funny because going into watching the series before I seen anything of it, like I'm like, this is probably gonna be a 7 to me. Like if I liked One Piece, the live action series, and I never seen the cartoon one, you know, and I gave it like a 6 to 7 type thing. I feel like the Avatar, it's the trailer. It seemed like it's done very well, like way better than One Piece. It's gonna be around the 7s for me. Mm-hmm. And finishing the show, it's definitely a 7.5 for me.
Wow.
Like some of my dislikes, yes, Katara is definitely the biggest downer right there of the show for me. I didn't like her acting at all. Every time I see her acting, it's her acting.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's the character. It's her acting. Like that's really it. And some of the serious moments or some of the exciting moments, she still have this monotone face to her. And I just I couldn't agree with that, you know? And the other aspect, I don't know if I missed it, if I just don't remember, or I just kind of glossed by it. What was the time span of that whole series? Was it like a week? Or was it like a month? Was it like a year? Like
no, it was like a month or two.
The entire 4 books should be a span of like under
books.
6 months.
3 books.
3 books.
It was a year. Yeah, I think
the
it's like a year. It's like a year.
So they shouldn't,
because it was the eclipse.
Once you get to the spoiler, I have to mention this part because this part really bothered me.
So, well, I don't know if they said it or if there's a time skip within the show or the series in the middle of it or not, but it all feel like it happened within 3 days. Everything just felt like it happened in 3 days, you know? And I definitely know that that's not the case because I'm getting way too much character development within a 3-day time span, basically. You know? And that kind of like rubbed me off wrong because I'm like, what the hell? Like, you're kind of pushing a lot of these information on me. But I rate it high as a 7.5 is because there are aspects of the show that I like, especially with certain characters, like especially Zuko. Turns out that I do like Zuko. I like his character.
He's fantastic.
And I look forward to learning this dude's journey, you know. And it's a shame because to me, he outshines the main character to me, like Aang. You know, Aang
has just did been that in the anime too.
Yeah, but like because Zuko, like his story is just much more. I guess it's more realistically like you can relate to it, you know, like daddy issues, trying to get respect or him to
dark.
Like
in the show,
like
dark.
His character growth was the best one out of the entire series.
100%.
Right. So like I seen that, and that definitely like set a bar to what I want from the other characters. Just like Adam said, Aang, he's mid. You know, I didn't find anything wrong with his acting other than the emotional part. That's really it. But you know, he still gave the emotional acting, but like you could tell that this is Aang in a situation that we know he's in. You know, being the Avatar. I don't really. He has this personality of like, hey, look, I did some fucked up shit. It is what it is. Like that's like the personality that I get from him. But for some reason, like in comparison to like the cartoon, I know I shouldn't do it yet, but like the comparison to cartoon, you feel more bad for him in the cartoon than you do in the live series. Yeah. Like here, he's just more of like, yeah, it is what it is, man. Like I did this. Yeah. That's war. Yeah. But in the cartoon, like he started to be more philosophical and all that stuff, and just much more emotion in the cartoon. I don't like Azula.
Real quick, sorry. I am Jojo Star said, hello, friends. Hey, how you doing? What's going on today? How you been?
Hi.
And sorry to cut you off, but what's up? So you said...
don't like Azula.
Yeah, I didn't like Azula.
I don't like Azula. I don't like her. Like, I don't like the actress that chose there. The acting was definitely just like, hey, be mean. And she's like, okay. And that's really it.
Yeah.
You know, there was no...
Azula had to be like psychotic evil.
Yeah.
That was... She felt
she was more, that was more like Mean Girls.
Yeah,
Mean
Girls. Mean Girl, yes. Mean Girl. And then she got her posse in the back over there, like giving her conflicting compliments. It's like, you're good. It's like, it's probably because they whatever. And I'm like, bro, y'all just seem like a group of bullies. Like that's just really it. You know? Yeah. It's like you didn't give me that aspect of like, and this is like before I even saw the cartoon. I was like, what are they doing with her? Like, what are they doing with her character? I don't get it. Like, if she's supposed to be the one to obviously finishing the show. I'm like, oh, they want her to be the one, and the dad is playing this trick on Zuko. Well, the spoiler, I guess, but like, kinda. But there's a reason why like she's acting the way she's acting, but I'm just not believing it, and I think it's because she has like a baby face to me. I guess they should have picked like a different actress.
Yeah, she's too squishy. She's squishy. Like, and I'm like, that's face. Not Azula. Yo, hey, by the way, Suki appreciation time. Can we just appreciate Suki? Holy crap. Suki was probably one of the best characters. She's amazing.
Yes.
She was great.
I can't wait for her to reappear.
Me too.
Because we know she's going to reappear.
Oh,
yeah, there's some stuff that happens.
Yes.
But like, in terms of the story itself, I thought it was coherent. That shit definitely went smoothly. I know there's finishing the cartoon and seeing some of the response and reviews online. I know they mixed in something from book 2 and just threw it in.
Yeah, they did.
They
did.
But like, as kind of bothered me.
Yeah, but as a first-time Avatar Last Airbender series viewer, you know, before I saw the cartoon, this went smoothly for me. Everything made sense to me, you know. So it went good in that aspect. I guess I could do the comparison with Aang and how he is in the cartoon and how he is in the spoilers. But in terms of characters, I think that, like I said, Zuko is like the only one to outshine. I think that was very great. The action was fucking amazing. Like this brought me to appreciate when people talk about airbending and just bending. Elemental bending. Like
that's
it is crazy.
Good.
Like you knew it was gonna be tight. I know you didn't like the first episode, Adam, but like you got to give props to that first 5 minutes of like the Earthbender. Like, running away.
No, it was great.
Like that CGI, that action. I'm like, I know I'm gonna get. If this is the first episode, I'm not gonna get some shit. You know?
And they burned him alive. Like, is it that?
Yeah,
a little spoiler.
It went crazy. Yes, it went crazy.
To see the bending for real in a live action done properly, unlike the 2010 movie.
Yep.
Like you feel how like crazy powerful these benders
100%, dude.
I love
it. There were times where the CGI could have been a lot better. Like there were some times that it was a little messy, but I do
more towards the end, I think. But like I think this is the best we're gonna get for our Netflix. You know?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, like I think they'll do better in the season 2 and season 3 for sure. But I think there was I could appreciate it. It was really good.
Yeah, CGI to me, I thought it was great. It's there's a cap to a Netflix CGI that I'm willing to give them, and I think they hit that cap. That's it. Like they can't go anymore. That they did good job. Like good job on that. Soundtrack obviously is great. It has like that whole Asian-esque type soundtrack, Chinese type soundtrack. You know, you gotta appreciate that soundtrack. I can't really think of anything else other than the sad moments. I guess like that's really like the more it focuses on.
Yeah.
But I can't really pinpoint like a specific moment. But I just remember enjoying and feeling like emotions like whenever those songs come on.
Yeah.
Overall, like I said, it's a 7.5 to me. Like going in as a viewer of a first-time viewer for Last Airbender, this is definitely one of like a top tier like Netflix show in terms of like an adaptation from a cartoon. You know, like
nice.
Yeah,
makes sense why I did so well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So real quick, we'll go over the spoilers and just kind of talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and kind of go over this whole entire thing. And I already have our overall, so we'll save that for later. But here's kind of going into the spoilers and bringing back up what you guys were saying. Like, yeah, that beginning scene was really cool, and I just remember being like, man, there was nothing like this in the show, but like I was like, I don't care, this is cool. And I love
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
see the bending because, like, obviously
That
the
was a
bending is what
great
makes or
long
breaks.
scene to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, so speaking of kind of going off what you said, Andrew, with the music, yo, you know what made me like actually legitimately tear up? Iroh's son's wedding. I mean, a funeral. They played "Leaves in the Wind" in the background, bro. And I
Yeah, they did.
literally, I was like, because I didn't notice at first, like at the second, because like it's that guitar-y kind of sound in the animation series, but like I start like that piano. It was such a beautifully well done, just like piano keys, just like single piano
That
keys in the background.
yeah. That
I
scene was the only scene you see of any of the character actually legitimately has a tear on their
yeah,
face.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and like you get to like you
It was
start to see like a
so that
Zuko.
actual, because they gave us his funeral,
Yeah,
but the actual scene, is gonna come out in second season because that's book 2
well, it
where
might,
they're gonna be in Ba Sing Se.
yeah.
Well, because that's how it went. Because that's where he lost his son in Ba Sing Se.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like
But
he's gonna show where he buried the son.
yeah,
Everything. I hope they give us that scene.
well, so that scene
Like
was actually celebrating his birthday.
was it celebrating his birthday?
It was his birthday.
Okay, then yeah.
It
So
wasn't. It wasn't.
that's
I don't
that
think
scene.
his grave either. I don't remember if it was where his grave was. I think he just kind of like set up shop, and he was basically
Yeah.
like he's saying "Leaves in the Wind." It was so emotional, man. It was so emotional. But that was his birthday. Yeah, it was his son's birthday that day, and he just wanted to pay respects. But man, I lost because I was watching it, and I'm like, wait a second, this sounds familiar. And then I was like, this is "Leaves in the Wind." And then I was like, oh my God, I'm going to cry. And then I was like, it was just appreciation like that. Like just the small things where it was like, you play that in the background so simply. You didn't go over the top. Like it was really well. Obviously, the beginning where they played the Avatar actual song, like a lot of the music that was in the show was actually music from the actual animated show,
Yeah.
which was sick.
Right.
I loved the secret tunnel that they brought the secret tunnel in it. That's
I
one of
love
the things
these
that I really
iconic-
wanted.
Yeah, they added iconic scenes
Mhm.
and very iconic characters.
Yes.
Because like when they did Secret Tunnel, as they did that, I was like, please something gonna sing it. Please something gonna
Yeah.
sing it. And then they fucking just went to sing it. I was like, hell yeah.
The only
I was
thing
singing that shit along.
The only thing that I wanted was that one part they missed it out because, like, in the animated series, he was like, "Man, I don't remember the other part," but then it goes something like "Secret Tunnel," and then like,
No.
and then at
Yeah.
the end, he was like, "Oh, I remember the last part," and die, and like that shit makes me
That would've
laugh
been so
every
good.
time. But they didn't do that in the show. The one thing that I freaking loved, I was like, "Yo, we need the cabbages guy," and they brought the cabbages guy.
They brought the
And
cat
they
guy, yeah.
gave him
Well,
that above camera view where he's like, my cabbage. I was like, this is
It was
gold.
so funny
This is
because
good.
like they kept when I saw the cabbage guy, I was like, say the words, say the
Mhm.
words, right? And they kept teasing him saying the words up until
Yeah.
the moment he actually said it. I was like, oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was
I got
good.
so hyped for the
Like I
cabbage
said,
guy.
they did a good job staying true to the show. I didn't care for Boomy. I could care less about his character. His character
I didn't
actually
like how he
annoyed me
did
because
his story.
yeah, I didn't like it. He's supposed to be like this goofy like careless person, but like he ended up being like super serious all of a sudden, and I was like, nah.
Yeah.
You know what else I didn't like? So these are the things that like made me go from like an 8 to a 7.5. Or like yeah, to kind of bring it to the rating that I was. I didn't like what they did with them, Boomy, and I didn't like what they did in the Northern Water Tribe, the Master, because the Master in the animated series, I could say this because now Andrew said this. Jaguar, what's good, brother? What's going on, man? Oh, still COVID. That sucks, man. I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
But what they did in the animated series was they hinted that the Master was potentially Katara's grandfather.
Well, no, in the anime that wasn't.
Yeah,
what it
no,
was.
they hinted because he had a history. He
It
had a
was,
history with
Granny. Yeah, it was Granny's old flame
yes,
because they never established.
Yeah.
Because that's the part that I was annoyed with the story, that the master was supposed to see the necklace, and I was like,
Yeah.
I know that necklace. I made that necklace.
yeah,
And then like and then that was supposed to push him to realize that he needs to go to the Southern Water Tribe and help grow them. So that was supposed to like that because
Yeah,
he skipped a lot of things.
they did.
That
That's what I'm saying.
a lot of shit out.
That's why I'm saying
And
they
like
skipped it, but like they kind of it kind of implied or like hinted that he could potentially be Katara's grandfather because like you never really know anything about Katara's grandfather. You just see the grandmother. So it's just like I don't know, but to me that kind of frustrated me. There were some little small parts where I was like, nah, like it was small, but I was also like, this is actually kind of bigger than you think. Like from the animated series, like I just wanted it a little bit better in a sense where like I don't know, like personally, I like man, I don't know the way that they introduced what's his face Jet, and then they introduced like the mechanic the guy like that he's not supposed to be introduced yet. He's supposed to be in if I remember correctly, he's actually supposed to be in one of the airbenders like thing, and then Aang was supposed to be frustrated or like excited because he was like, oh my god, more airbenders. Yeah,
and that part annoyed me because like those were sort of minor stories in itself, but they were still good stories that kind of helped with the character development.
Right. That's why I'm saying
So,
like I
it
didn't
helped a lot.
mind the way they did it.
Yeah.
But like I said, so yeah, going back into just kind of real quick, I'll kind of end my review there. But for like just to finish my review up, I loved the soundtrack. The CGI could have been a little bit worse. Like the when Arden Cho, who plays June, when she jumped off of her like thing, you can see that it was a little wonky. Like it wasn't like if you go back into that scene where she was introduced first and she jumps off of her animal, you could see that it was kind of eh. A lot of the jumps that they did was kind of eh. There was some like CGI like messy parts, but like other than that, like the CGI was actually really good. Some of the characters I didn't like. So characters I didn't like I said, going back, didn't like Azula, didn't like her posse, didn't like what they did with the Northern Water Tribe Master, didn't like Yue at all. Aang, OJ,
Yue?
yeah, OJ Yue.
She was fine.
Mhm. Even the
That
Yue,
actress was fine.
even the Yue in the movie was better in my opinion. So so Aang was mid, Katara and Sokka was great. I mean, Zuko was amazing. Uncle Iroh was awesome. Yo, you like a sleeper, General Fire Lord Ozai. What the hell? Dude's ripped.
Yeah.
He was good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pumped to see him in more of this stuff because he plays a good Ozai.
Gives evil vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
he gives a proper evil vibe. I like that.
100%. And Suki. Love Suki. I will always love Suki. So all of them were really good, but that's why I kind of gave it a 7.5 because I feel like there were just some things that they like changed, which I was like, man, like I was with you. But then you changed some small things where I was like, I'm not with you, because like she gets the waterbending scroll from her grandmother instead of stealing it from pirates. Like the whole like situation where they were in the spirit world and he just left them and went to the fire temple, like that was weird to me. Like some of the things where I was like, man, this just doesn't really add up, but it made up for what it lacked. So that was why I liked it personally. Jaguar said, it's a pain. I don't know at Shane and at Andrew, but hi to them. Yep. So this is the first time that we're meeting Shane and Andrew. We are the Comic Nerds on Thursdays. He said, are you ready for 2025? Thunderbolts with Harrison Ford.
Oh.
Yeah. I got to see something. Yeah, I got to see a trailer. He's going red. He's going Red Hulk, man.
Yeah, Red Hulk.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. You guys give yours, and then we'll rate this stuff. So going into spoilers.
Let me go real quick. So this is the shit that annoyed, because with the storytelling, right? It's you see the journey to get to the Northern Water Tribe. They glossed over a bunch of stuff, but then like they condensed so much stuff, so it did kind of bother me, especially with like Boomy. Like they took away what should have been this joyful reunion of like 100 years and like your best friend, but they did the reveal so quick, and then they turned that entire thing into a motivational message to make sure that he understands the pressure of being the Avatar, which I didn't really enjoy too much, because so it kind of ruined Boomy for me, because Boomy was supposed to be like crazy fun, but he was just more crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And so like that one really kind of bothered me when they introduced Shang-Chi Tong, that big ass owl,
Oh
way
yeah,
too
that
early.
was dumb.
That's in the second book, and he's supposed to be in the library. There was
Right.
no reason why should have been wandering around in the spirit world outside of the library. So that
Yeah.
felt unnecessary because like if they sent him there to like give a message to Aang, I feel like he could have gotten that message from someone else or whatever, or whatever the story ended up being. And was it Ko, the face stealer? Was he supposed to be in the first one?
No, he's not supposed to be in the first one.
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
No, yeah, I don't think so either. That's why, because like they had him in there because that whole interaction was supposed to be just with the panda ghost, you know.
Yeah.
But like they gave us Ko.
Yeah, even though Ko was like not supposed to be in this early on, I guess, but how they're condensing the story with like parts of the book too and stuff like that in, it kind of went the pacing they want to go, and I think they executed.
Yeah, because they're going to
admit
do the
like,
books properly.
Yeah, but you gotta admit that CGI for him is fucking crazy good though.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy good.
That shit really freaked me out, man.
Yeah.
So that was really good. But the one that really annoyed me the most was when they went to the Crescent Island to go see Roku. And the part that annoyed me was that Roku didn't give him the one message he needed. Because in that island, he was supposed to find out that the solstice was coming and they needed to stop Ozai before the solstice. So that was supposed to give Aang a sense of urgency to learn, like the bendings and stuff like that. But they did not do that. And that, I hated that they didn't do that. You know what I mean? Because that was supposed to be like the real drive of him going to find these bending teachers as quickly as possible, learn the bending, go through this whole journey. But like, because that was like one of the milestones that he's supposed to hit. And like, that was like, I think one of the more important part of the stories. And they just didn't add it at all.
Yeah.
But, like,
yeah.
That was like a big part of why I lowered it so much.
Yeah. I think we're not going to see any of his attempt to learn all the other elements until the second season, because this is what we're going to get. Yeah, we're going to get.
And that's the part that also annoys me, because like if he had learned bits of waterbending during the first season, because the books are supposed to be when he learns the new bending. So book 1, water, was supposed to be him learning water. Book 2, earth, he meets Toph to be his teacher, he learns earth. Now it looks like he's going to learn water and earth at the same time, which is ridiculous. Or they're going to push for Toph to appear like later on in the season of season 2, until he finished learning water to do that.
But as of right now, they're still in the Northern Water Tribe. So I think what they're going to do is but I think there's going to be a slight time skip, because the thing is, and I'm pretty sure if and Andrew might know this a little bit more than I do, but in the Northern Water Tribe, I'm pretty sure Sokka makes his own sword and actually learn. Is that a different time? Oh, that's the fire. Yeah, that's the fire. Yeah, that's the fire one.
Oh yeah, the Fire Nation. Yeah, so that's book 3.
That was my bad. Okay, so I was wondering that. Yeah. But in this,
I want him to do that.
Yeah, that'd be so dick. That would be so sick. My thing is, I think what's going to happen is in season 2, there's going to be a slight time skip, maybe like a month or 2, and where they stuck around in the Northern Water Tribe, and like Sokka did his thing with like the army and stuff, and then Katara and Aang learned waterbending and mastered more waterbending in there, and then that's where he will like learn the basics of waterbending. But then Katara will start to say, like, you need to do your waterbending training, and then they find Toph. Like, I think that's just the only way that they're going to have to do it. And they're just going to skip him, like, learning water on the fly there, I think, because, like, I think that's just their way of, like, condensing the show a little bit more to, like, kind of skip over some of the parts. Like, they'll just be, like, 2 months later, and then, he'll, like, know.
Yeah, but that's because, so, like, I mean, that's probably why they didn't mention the whole solstice thing in the time period, because technically the entire series is supposed to be within like a 6-month span, because like their journey of flying around is very quick, and like they only had so long to like learn everything, and that was like supposed to be the whole point. But they maybe that's if they say that's why they didn't add the urgency, then that it's okay. But like
say,
to do a time skip,
well, I was gonna say, I want to say it's like a year. I feel like I want to say it's a year. But
because I remember, like when I first heard, because in the animated, when I remember hearing
let's
that, like, oh, they have until the solstice, I think it was when they went to the library, they realized how close the solstice was, and it sounded like it was only a few months away.
No, it was
So
a few months away, but
Can't
like I'm
remember.
saying,
Yeah.
like they needed to figure like hold on, just keep going. But like I'll find out. But yeah, I agree. Let me see.
yeah, because if that was why the urgency wasn't added, then they could technically say he could have came out of the ice at any point, like so that way he had enough time to go do whatever he had to do. But like that was, if it would have made sense because like it would have been okay if it's as short months because if they're condensing stuff anyways, like it's already quick. So I feel like they could have just added these certain things to add the urgency, so that way they can condense it more or condense like the important stuff. But
I think we're gonna get a bit of it because towards the end, like it definitely gives the implication that Ozai definitely has a plan. You know?
yeah,
And I
because
think
they're waiting
we're
for
gonna
Sozin's comet, and
right.
Sozin's comet is supposed to hit during the thing, but what they learned is that they need to hit the Fire Nation before Sozin's comet come, which is the eclipse. So the eclipse happens before the solstice and Sozin's comet, and like it's supposed to be this whole thing right at once.
Yeah, because that's when the firebending get taken away, right? During
Yeah.
the eclipse and stuff like that. But
So that's why that's what book 3 is gonna be, and I hope they do that war well.
yeah,
because
So-
that was so good. Like when
it
they
seemed
did
like
that.
we're gonna. 'Cause after that, it was like really quick, at least in terms of the cartoon. It went really quick to like the last battle, like really
Mhm.
quick. So it's gonna fly by. But I'm pretty sure like the way they're doing, like how they're condensing thing, and from an outside viewer, from the cartoon, how they condense like a little bit of the season 2 or book 2, season 1, and then make it like a coherent story into like one season. I definitely think like what you're concerned about, I think they're gonna do it very well in terms of like book 3 or season 3. They're gonna do it very well. Yeah, we just got to give them like that little pass because it's like we're not gonna get fucking 60 episodes. You know what I mean? Like we're
No.
gonna get fucking 24 episodes. That's it. Gotta condense it to 24.
But the thing is, if you think about it, so Avatar: The Last Airbender first season was 24 episodes long. Every episode was 20 minutes long or 22 minutes long. It actually adds up to a total of 6 something hours, whereas the Netflix adaptation was 8. So, I mean, they do have a little bit more time. So Avatar takes place during 99 and 100 AG. Aang is awakened from the suspended animation in 99 AG, and then soon learns that Sozin comets will return at the end of the summer. So they probably have they have less than a year, but I feel like they probably have like more than 6 months.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. The time skip would be taking away too much of the story if they added a time skip.
Yeah, that's true. But they could be taking their time and then fast forward everything because like like you said, like as of right now, the comet doesn't exist. Like they don't know about the comet. But the comet was introduced in the end credits scene pretty much. So I think what's going to happen
in the live action, they might get rid of the whole timeline of it, saying that he woke up at this time and he only has this many months to learn.
Well,
so that's why they didn't address any kind of time period.
Yeah, but also in the animated series, like Aang freaks out. Because like Aang, like they went to the library, they were like, "Oh, I gotta figure out something," and then that's when they found out that Sozin Comet was so soon, and then that's when Aang actually freaks out and was like, "I don't have like I have no time. I still haven't mastered like earthbending, and I really need like I don't even have a firebending teacher." Like, and that's where like things start to kind of take place, and it's like last minute stuff. So right now they could just be like taking it seriously, being like, you know what, like I have all the time in the world, like it's the war is happening, but like I could still, you know, learn before fighting Ozai, and then they'll find that out in the library.
That's literally like the part that aggravated me in watching the cartoon series is how Aang was. You know what I mean? Like every time like something happened, yeah, like every time something happened, he'll be like, "You don't understand me," and then he'll run away, like he'll run away from his responsibility, and then everything is happy again. I'm like, this formula that they're doing with each episode with Aang is kind of annoying. Like I don't. Yeah, I get why people are like, "Oh, it's the kid aspect," but I think you guys are remembering like the good parts. Like you guys need to rewatch it and see how annoying it is, especially when you're binging it like quick pace. I'm like, yo, Aang is hella annoying in this fucking thing. Like when he's acting, when he's good, but when he's
one of the most annoying features of Aang's character was his like disdain for confrontation. Like he doesn't want to like kill the Fire Lord or like go through this war and stuff like that. Because he's so passive because he's supposed to be a monk. And that was like in the anime, I always hated that part of him.
Mhm.
And it was like, it's like, oh, you're the Avatar, that doesn't apply to you, kind of shit. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, man.
Yeah.
I was a little confused on, well, not confused, but that kind of went weird for me too. Is when all I'm getting is this running away aspect of him. Yes, he's a child. They're really emphasizing him being a kid and then still trying to take on this responsibility, but not understanding it.
Mhm.
But from that to fighting Ozai, that shit happened really quick, and he learned he was mastering everything like real fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was using every type of element. I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, this is
Yeah.
some weird writing right now. I won't say it's bad because I still enjoyed it, but I was like, it was definitely a weird writing.
Hmm.
And like he picked it up really quick, being an Avatar and learning all the elements. But is it my turn? I don't know.
Yeah. It's your turn.
We've
pretty much.
all gone into
Yeah. I guess to go back to that question you had for me, Adam, like, how do I feel about the series before the cartoon and then the series after the cartoon?
Mhm.
Nothing changed. Like, literally, I will say this, and I feel like you guys might agree with me. They are two different things. Obviously, that's obvious.
Yeah.
But they are two completely different shows.
Mhm.
I'm
Some
seeing
people
it.
just
They're just
can't.
using. They're I can distinguish that though. I enjoy this for what this is, and I enjoy this for what this is.
Yeah.
This is definitely a cartoon to me, and I enjoy the story and how it's fleshed out. Like, obviously with Aang's character being a kid,
Mhm.
and definitely with Zuko. Zuko's definitely more fleshed out there too. And I don't like how he always I don't know. He always seemed to get like the bad end of the stick, like in the cartoon. They really emphasize on like how shitty he has it though. So I don't
Yeah.
like that. But it also it's a good character building. So, but it's its own entity there, and this is its own entity here with the live series. And I distinguished that. I didn't compare it. It was just like, this is good for what it is, and this is good for what it is.
Mhm.
Because they're two different shit to me. Like watching it side by side, or not side by side, but like one after the other.
Right.
So that's that right there. So I didn't take any points away from the live series after watching the cartoon. Yeah, the cartoon I actually rate lower than the live series.
You didn't like it that much? Wait.
Yeah.
We're talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, or we're talking like all of it, including Korra?
I'm not including. If I include Korra, I'm rating that shit low as hell, man.
You didn't
So
like
you didn't
Korra,
like
right?
Korra?
I did not like Korra.
Yo, to be honest,
Yeah.
Korra is annoying as fuck.
yeah,
Oh
Korra.
gosh,
Yeah.
her character was so annoying.
Yeah.
And like in Korra, she basically fucked up the entire world by just letting spirits roam free. You remember that?
Yeah, no, I get it, but I don't think
Yeah.
she fucked up. So remember, like they have to they're all trying to do something different where it can change the world, and she felt like this. The whole point of that story, that arc right there, it was her doing what she feels was right, no matter the repercussion of it. Yes, it fucked up the connection with the past avatars and stuff like that, but again, it did. Who said it? I can't remember who said it. Was it Zuko that said it to her? Where it's like this was Aang's dream, or was it his son Tenzin that said it? It was like Aang's dream was to rebuild the Air Nation because they're all gone,
Yeah.
and doing opening the spirit world inadvertently made more airbenders.
Yeah.
It's one thing to leave the portal open and having the spirit roam the world and all these crazy stuff, Mother Nature stuff happening with the cities and all that stuff. But at the same time, you did it from your heart, and you can't look at all the bad thing that's happening from what you did from your heart. You got to look at the good thing, and the good thing is you rebuilt a nation that was gone 100 years ago, plus 100 plus
Yeah.
years ago.
That was at least 200 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's Korra. I fucking hate that show. That show annoyed the hell out of me, man.
Korra was really
Yeah.
kind of like, it was good. Like the action scenes for Korra was awesome in my opinion. I
Yeah.
loved the action scenes,
Yeah.
but it was
Yes.
very like with Aang, I appreciated it because like it was a villain from like arcs 1 through 3. Like it was literally just like, this is what he has to do. He has to defeat the Fire Lord, and then that's like what the goal was. Like there was nothing past that.
Yeah.
It was just that. But with Korra, it was multiple things, and I think that
Right.
like the confrontations, it just made it for like a little bit more of like a rushed show, and then at the end it got mad random. Like like all of a sudden we find out that she's like potentially like she's like bisexual. She walks into the spirit world with some chick, and then like that was the end of it. Like I was like, dude, like there was no build up. There was barely any build up to this. Like I just remember it being like, hey, I'm bisexual now, and then like let's go into this tree.
Yeah.
Like
I thought like that writing with Korra is so bad. They really emphasize on her hothead aspect
yeah.
throughout all the fucking series.
Oh,
And
100%.
I'm like,
Yeah.
bro,
They had to
gave
like
us the
give her a
opposite of
unique,
Aang.
yeah, they had to give her
Yeah.
kind of like a unique like take of things. Like I liked
no,
how,
I get.
I kind of liked how in the beginning, because in the beginning she was like, I'm the Avatar, deal with it. I kind of felt like
Right.
that was to the audience, because it felt like a lot of the audience was like, well, there's nothing like the Avatar like Aang, but it's like, nah, dude, like deal with it, bro. Like I'm the new Avatar, like deal with it. I kind of like that aspect of it, but like they really did dig into her like hotheadedness, because that was like the whole show to me. It was her complaining, and like her losing her shit. That was it. Like it was from what I remember.
Definitely that. Like in the beginning it was fun. I agree with you. I thought that was just a unique aspect. I like that. That's cool. But when it got to like the fourth season and in the third season, and then you say how ungrateful, like you become ungrateful for the shit that happens, like that bothers me. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if you guys remember. Like I guess it's a little spoiled.
I have
like
to rewatch.
when she was like paralyzed, like half the
Oh,
body down.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
From
yeah.
fighting those benders basically. Months she was not able to walk, and that made her depressed. She finally go to Katara, and Katara fixed her up. But she was not. She was ungrateful to Katara for that. By the way, she was complaining, and towards like when she finally able to walk, she's like, "Oh, thank you," and that was it, right? And then fast forward to her having these flashback of all the villains she fought and stuff like that. She finally met Toph, and even with Toph, like she was a little more lighthearted with Toph, but before that, she was talking to the spirit, and she goes, "There was everyone thinks that they can help me, but no one ever able to help me." I'm like, bitch, like 2 episodes ago, Katara just made you walk again. What are you talking about? Like, what do you? She's become so goddamn ungrateful for the shit that's happening to her. It just annoy the fuck out of me. And real quick, like when I was watching this whole thing, obviously like a lot of stuff pops up in my newsfeed on Facebook and stuff like that. There was like a thing like Team Aang versus Team Korra.
Oh my god, yeah, I saw
and
that.
I'm like, it's definitely Team Aang, because the only reason why Korra got to the point she is, because one, she went to Zuko for help before she fought one of the villains there. You know what I mean? So that's Team Aang right there. Mm-hmm. 2, she went to Katara to be able to walk again, to do your fighting shit with the Earth Nation. That's another Avatar there. And to help you get rid of the last piece of metal that's bothering you in your fucking memory is Toph. That's another Aang team member right there. Yeah. So he went through all of Aang members to fucking help you out become the Avatar you are. Like, what are you talking about?
There were some people that said that there was literally, like, I saw those TikTok things, and like I also saw it on Twitter. And some people actually said that Korra's team would beat Aang's team. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
No,
because I was like,
not.
First of all, you're talking about the creator of metal bending. The creator of metal bending. Yeah. She's so badass that she doesn't even have to see you to beat you. Like, she would kick your ass. Then you have Zuko, the fucking fire, like, lord. The new Fire Lord. You got Zuko. You got Katara,
and you got a dragon.
Who mastered. Yeah, you got a dragon. You got Katara, who literally mastered waterbending. She like healing and blood bending.
Yeah, and did say that she is till that, I guess that cartoon there, the Korra there, she is the best healer.
Yes.
In the series,
she's the
like
best
she could just heal anyone. Like really,
seriously. You have Zuko. I mean, not Zuko, but you have damn it, why am I blank on his name? Sokka. You have Sokka, who is a great warrior. Like he was a
strategist. He became a crazy
he's a strategist and an engineer. So like he's phenomenal in that. And then you have Aang, who obviously is just Aang. He's like an amazing fighter. What do you have in the freaking thing? You have Korra, who fine, sure, Korra versus Aang, like whatever. Korra's a little bit more aggressive, fine. You have the boy there who's like a firebender, and then you have the earthbender who's basically like Sokka with powers. But then you have this other chick who does nothing. She drove around in a car. She was driving in a car the whole time. She had the glove like in the car and whatever. But it's like sure, one can lava bend, fine, whatever. One can fire bend. Whatever.
Well, he lightning bend too,
and he could. It was fine. Zuko can lightning bend too. He just doesn't want to. Like he chose not to. But like you have all these people. I was like, you're not even close. You're not even close. There's no.
What's crazy? It's like Team Korra got to get through Azula first.
Yeah. It's insane.
Because if you talk about them, right? It's Team like Aang was, I want to say, real like warriors, because they fought through wars, you know what I mean, for like life and death. It was like with them, it's like they started these people started out as like competition game like benders. They never had to bend for their life like and that.
If you see them too, if you see Aang and like them, like their fight style is actually more traditional, like more intense fight style. Them and Korra, they didn't have like a fight style. They just had like street fights. Like these guys were like pro fighters. You know what I mean? Like these pro fighters versus street fighters. There's no competition.
Yeah.
But yeah, so sorry.
We're getting sidetracked.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
getting
getting sidetracked.
So all right, so
Let's
here we
let's
go.
get to the points.
Yeah. So
Get to the points.
story plus slash plot. Like, what do you guys think of the story on Avatar here out of 5?
I want to give it.
I'm gonna give it a
it's-
4.5.
4.5.
I'm actually giving it a 4 because it's like I said, there was too many stuff that I felt like was too important, but like it was still a steady story that had like the usual message that needed to be met.
So
Yeah.
I'm.
I feel I gave a minus a 5 because there's things that they just did for the sake of the fans, and I'm like I didn't care for it. But in terms of like outside of that, it was like I said, a coherent, definitely steady story. Yeah.
I gave it a 4 only because there were some things, like I said, that kind of like nicked it for me, like just small things that here and there that I started to see where I was like, it's not like super important, but also like it kind of was important in the anime that they kind of changed up. I still thought that it was good. I like it was coherent. I think that it made sense. Like even in the things that were introduced in season 2, like they made it flow very easily in season 1. But there were just a few things that really kind of pissed me off. So I do give it a 4, which actually leads us to a 4.2 out of 5 for story. Andrew, what'd you think of the characters?
There's only a couple that I like, and I already told you guys who, right? So like I don't fuck with most of the characters that's on this show in terms of, but this is more of like acting than it is the character itself on the show.
It's both. Both.
Yeah. Like I said, I really like Zuko. I am a fan of Zuko. I'm Team Zuko now. You know, definitely. That is legit majority of the points that I'm giving it to. Aang, I feel like the way this show it's going, I feel like I'm gonna learn more. And at the end of the series, I hope that he becomes my character because my last name. Like I really do hope like he becomes like my favorite character. But as of right now, like Zuko is the only one that I really care for in terms of character, and he alone carried this category, and I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay, fair. Shane?
I'm gonna give it a 4 because there's more characters I like than I didn't like. But like I didn't like like Azula and her posse, and then I was a big fan of Bumi's character in that one. But everyone else was good enough that like I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah, just 4.
I'm actually gonna give it a 3. Reason being is that there was more characters that I disliked more than there were characters that I liked.
I can't be mad at you.
You know what I mean? Like there were just more characters. Like for the most part, like I said, I agree with what you guys said though. But like Zuko, my favorite character. I loved Zuko, Suki. I even liked June. Arden Cho's character was fine for me. I liked Uncle Iroh, but honestly, there were some points of even I found Uncle Iroh kind of like pushing it. You know what I mean? Like he kind of did this like real like forced deep voice where he was like, "Oh yeah," like, and I was like, "Dude, come on, man! Like you really don't need to do this for your role." But I just felt like it was kind of like weird. Yue sucked. Suki was good. It's like there were like Ozai was awesome. Like I think that those characters are what gives me that high score. But there were just way too many characters and actors, so the acting itself was subpar in a lot of the show. And I'm mixing it with adding it with the character, and I'm adding it with the acting. So like there were some emotional scenes that could have been so much more emotional if there was actually emotion in the scene, and there wasn't. So like I just feel like, and again, these are kids. Like a lot of them are like their young 20s. Like some of them are even like Suki. This is her first acting career, and she did a phenomenal job. But there are some people who have acted a lot, and they weren't that great, and I just can't get behind some of that. So I felt like I'm gonna give it a 3 just because there were so many actors that I felt didn't fit the role, or there was like a lot of the characters where I felt like this just didn't match the show. So with that gets a 4 points. I mean, not a 4 point, 3.7 actually out of 5 for the characters there. What about the action, Shane? Let's start with you.
5. Solid 5. We know it's good. The bending, the martial arts, fantastic.
What is more to say? It's definitely a 5. I mean, they did this shit right. Like there wasn't any like lag in terms of like fighting. Like it was definitely great. In terms with the next category too, like put that shit meshed in well together. Like it really meshed in well together.
Yeah.
Definitely a 5.
I'm actually also gonna give it a 5, only like I was gonna give it a lower score, but then I realized that like I'm not gonna mesh action with CGI. So CGI was kind of the biggest problem that I had in some of the parts, but the action itself was cool. Like I did enjoy the action. I thought that like some of the action styling, like I wish that we had more of a traditional fight style that we saw in the show. Because the show, it's like, fun fact. So basically, every bending has a different style, obviously, and you could see
Mhm.
that in their thing. So what it's called line forms. So every self-defense karate class, they teach you this. They teach you these things called line forms. What a line form is it's actually a story. So every line form is a story that someone has told of their battle, and they recreate the battle with that line form. So a lot of like the things that you see is actually very like a war thing. Like it's a story that's told in their fighting style. I appreciated that like air was elegant, fire was aggressive, earth was very sturdy, and then water was like very like kind of flowy. I liked that, but like most of the time like Katara really kind of just did like this, whereas like in the show you have like stances, like with rock, like with
Mhm.
earth you just be like and like your stances,
Yeah.
your footing and stance and like arms and your hands and everything, like it was much more than that. Like Zuko was cool, the action scenes with him, but he was just doing like a bunch of like jump spinny stuff, like a
Or a
lot of
lot of
it,
somersaults.
a lot of those, but like with fire it's like aggressive, like you're doing high kicks, you're doing sweeps, you're doing like punches and stuff. Like I just wish that I saw a little bit more of that like traditional like line form fighting style, but I did like it nonetheless, so I will still give it a 5 because of that. So that actually averages to a 5 out of 5 in action. And then CGI, so I'll actually kind of just continue on with the CGI. I think I'm going to give the CGI a 3.5. For the most part, it was good, but there were some scenes and some parts where I was like, this obviously like it just seemed a little messy. Like they could have made it a little bit better. Like jumping off of Appa or jumping off of animals or jumping onto animals or kind of doing some things like when Katara was fighting the Northern Water Tribe Master. There was one scene where like she like jumped on the ice, but it was just kind of like you could tell that she's getting pushed by a machine
Yeah,
instead of it.
I remember that.
Yeah, like you could like she like
That
basically
was cheesy.
she creates the ice and then she just like jumps on the ice and then she stood there for a little bit and then obviously it's like and then and like I was like
Yeah.
yo, like even him doing it I was like this is a machine that's pushing you right now and we can 100% tell. And I was like that to me was a little messy where it could have been a little bit smoother. Like I don't know why they couldn't just do it the way that they did it with Iceman and X-Men, but they didn't really get that like fluidity. And so I just felt
Yeah.
like some of those could have just been done a lot better. That's why I'm giving it a 3.5. Andrew, what about
I'm gonna
you?
give it a I'm gonna give it a 4.
4.
It's not the best CG I've ever seen, you know. But again, like Netflix, I'll give it a cap if it hits that cap, and that's the best they can do, and they hit that cap, you know. Obviously, like with
That's
the
fair.
Northern Wilder Tribe scenes, like all the scenes there, especially with the spirit and stuff like that, ain't going into the spirit,
Yeah,
like
those are cool.
it get wonky, but like I give it a pass because again, like it's probably the best CGI I've seen on Netflix in general, you know,
Hmm.
like at least from what they could do with monsters and shit like that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I give it a 4.
As you know, I don't know the difference.
yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 5 because it didn't bother me.
You would give it a 5. You would.
There were
You
there was some
don't.
scene I'm like,
There was
ooh,
nothing in there that stood out enough for me to say like, oh, they could have improved on this or they could have improved on that.
I think one of these days, Adam, like the shit that we find like that annoys us with CGI, we just gotta like sit Shane down and be like, this is the scene. Okay, pay attention. Pay attention.
Listen,
You gotta
like-
edit all the scenes
I'm
together.
gonna-
This is bad. This is good. This is bad.
It's,
This is
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
it's gonna be sit down. I'll be like, you see that? You see it right there, right there. And he'd be like, what? I don't see it. And I gotta rewind it. And then I'll be like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
just show him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We gotta
so
pay about an entire day just to do that.
so it is
Yeah.
a 4.2 out of 5. Soundtrack. What do we think about the soundtrack, guys? I loved the soundtrack. I'm actually
I'm giving it
gonna
a 5.
I'm giving it a 5. It stuck true to the show.
Yeah, it felt very reminiscent of
Yeah.
the show.
It was good.
So like, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'll do a 4.5. There wasn't anything that stuck out to me. You know, I'm not so much. You guys are definitely hardcore fans of like the series, but like as far as I go, like I don't. You know, this ain't The Last of Us, like to me. You know,
Yeah,
like where you
yeah,
hear sometimes like,
exactly.
ooh,
Yeah.
like not for me, but it is for you guys. So I'll give it a 4.5.
Okay.
You
Fair.
know, I felt emotions even though the actors didn't do a good job on the acting. I still felt the emotion because of the
Mhm,
soundtrack.
mhm.
So
Just
yeah.
imagine how much better it would be if we actually had emotion. But
Yeah.
good. So that was a 4.8 out of 5. So now we have the overall. I already know what the overall is because you, Andrew, said. So I gave it a 7.5. Andrew gave it a 7.5. Shane actually gave it a 7, which is actually really weird that like both Andrew and I are rating it higher than Shane.
Yeah.
But it's still in the sevens. We're still kind of the same thing. So we're actually doing 7.5 plus 7.5 plus 7 is
7.
it equals to a 7.33. So it's a 7.33 out of 10, which is actually very impressive. If we're gonna compare it to anything that we have previously done, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we rated a 7. Black Adam is a 7.2. Black Panther Wakanda Forever is a 7.7. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is 7.2. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is 7.96. And yeah, so 7.3. So 7.3, Avatar did better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. Did better than Black Adam and did better than Doctor Strange. I would say I agree with it.
Yeah,
Actually, make a whole TV show category and a movie category.
Yeah, we should compare. You know what? I'm gonna divide that then. So as far as TV shows that we've done, then we've done DMZ, which got a 6, Moon Knight, which is an 8.5. We got Miss Marvel, which was a 6, Sandman, which was an 8.5, The Last of Us, which was a 9.1, and Loki, which was a 9, Loki season 2. And that was it. So yeah, I think like this kind of averages right about the middle of our TV shows.
We're really generous with TV shows, like rating. Really generous.
Well,
yeah, we rate them differently because there's more story and action.
Yeah, we do.
Everything involved. That's why.
I feel like a lot of our points, like with the series that are like rating 8 and plus, right, 8 and higher, is because all the acting was definitely fucking awesome.
Oh,
like
awesome.
the acting was great. This is probably the first show where the acting is like choppy as fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Like
but my thing too is like we have to remember that some of the stuff that we rated was before we had like more of a in-depth rating system. Because before we used to just do like halves or whatever and I would round up. Now we're actually doing like points just to kind of like make it a little bit more broad. So yeah, there's a few shows that could have been rated a little bit differently that we didn't do. But yeah, so I mean we have that. So that is that. I'll divide these into shows and movies too. So but yeah, we just hit the 2-hour mark. Sorry, Shane, we kind of went a little over.
Yeah. That's why we started early.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's our rating for Avatar: The Last Airbender, guys. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. I do highly recommend it. I think we all do.
Yes.
And then, yeah, this is going to make me really want to watch the animated series. So we'll be back next week with another episode, maybe, or maybe 2 weeks from now. But either way, we'll be back at some point with episode 78.
Mm-hmm.
So for now, thank you all for watching. Thank you guys. Oh.
I will say one thing. Look out October 2025, because that is when the Avatar animated movie will come out.
Oh, yes.
And that is the continuation to Aang and his friend's journey.
Yes, it is. They're going to be in their 20s.
They're going to be in their 20s. That one's actually coming out?
It's coming out, 100%.
Yeah,
it was confirmed.
They better give Zuko's mom's story in that one, too.
It seemed like
Zuko's mom's story was right after the war.
Yeah.
Zuko, so if Aang was 99 to 100 AG, Zuko was 101 AG, 101 to 101 to 102 AG. He like immediately left and went to go find his mom. I know the story of his mom.
Yeah.
Same. So like but like this is when
it's sad. It's a little sad.
It's really sad, but this is when they're in their 20s. Like they're already like adults now. So yeah, but it's gonna be really cool. And I heard that they're gonna make like another Avatar show with an Earthbender as the Avatar, kind of going into the next thing. So yeah.
Hopefully that one's good.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, guys. But yeah, for now, we'll be back again. So hopefully you can come back and we'll see you in the next stream. But for now, have a great rest of your night. Have a great day and have a great weekend, everybody. Just take care, man. Seriously, just take care. All right. See you later, everybody.